When you have a higher ideal, you become objective towards the lower. Just as when you become an adult, you are objective to whether you win or lose a game when you're playing with a child. When you're playing a game of Ludo with a child and you lose the game, do you pull a long face? Do you get into a bad mood? No. Are you upset? No. But a child is. That's because that's the level of the child. As a leader, when you fix a higher ideal, you grow into a higher dimension, you become objective with reference to the lower. Like Queen Elizabeth I, when she was anointed queen, she was very young. But suddenly she understood that she has a great responsibility of leading the country. And so she says, I am married to England. What a statement. How many of us feel that we are married to the country and that we owe it to our country to work towards its welfare? Until the last day of her life, she upheld that. You gain charisma. You know, when you're working for yourself, you have to do a PR campaign, you have to go to the media, you have to beg, please cover this. And nowadays, you have to pay to get an article in the newspaper. But when you become a charismatic leader, the media get after you. In fact, media become of nuisance value to you. You gain power. There are 4 kinds of power. One is bahubala. You become a wrestler or a boxer, you gain physical strength. Second is manobala. When you develop the power of love, you identify with people, you feel for people. That gives you power. Third, buddhibala. You develop your intellect, clarity of thinking, you come up with brilliant creative ideas. That is far more than manobala. And the most important is atmabala. When you identify with Atman, you don't need to do anything. You just get taken care of. Like Prahlada, how inspiring his story is. All he said was, I am a disciple. He didn't even say it. He became a disciple of Vishnu. And his father, who was a demon, he used all the forces in his power to kill Prahlada. Prahlada did nothing to defend himself. He didn't have to defend himself. He just identified with Vishnu. Vishnu took care of everything else. I often ask people, between you and God, who do you think is more capable of looking after you? God, of course. Then why don't you leave it to Him? Why do you interfere with His plan? This doesn't mean you don't put in effort. But drop the worry. Drop the anxiety. Oh, what will happen to me? What will happen? The worst has already happened. So, and the last thing is desires drop. Because you're not feeding the lower. You're inspired with the higher. And the result is success, happiness, and growth. So, what do you learn from this? Selfishness is not an option. And yet, all of us are selfish. All you have to do is clean drop thinking of yourself. In any situation, any action that you have to perform, anything that you have to, anybody you have to interact with, your first and last thought must be, how can I add value to you? How can I make a difference to your life? How can I perform this action to the best of my ability? Without thinking of yourself. The moment you stop thinking of yourself, perfection which is already within you just flows. Think back to moments of excellence that you came up with. Few maybe, but all of us have come up with those moments. These are the magical moments when you were so deeply engrossed in the action, in the work at hand, that you completely forgot to think of yourself. And that is what makes for excellence. The moment you think of yourself, if you're a musician, you'll sing off key. If you're a batsman, you'll get clean bowled. If you're a tennis player, you get out. If you're a businessman, you make all the wrong moves and decisions. If you're a housewife, you add double salt in the food. All this happens when you think of yourself. So, invoke the power of the Spirit. How not to think of yourself? Move up the pyramid. Today we are all stuck at the level of the body, physical body. Pick up an emotional motivation. When Andy Murray won the Wimbledon final, the first Englishman to win the Wimbledon in 80 years, and the first thing he said was, I did it for my coach, Ivan Lendl. His coach, Ivan Lendl, was a brilliant tennis player, and he won every tournament in the world except the Wimbledon. So he said, I wanted Ivan Lendl to vicariously enjoy the Wimbledon through me. Emotional motivation. Intellectual. There was one man in Mumbai who came up with this fabulous idea of a cooperative housing society. That society exists till today. One idea of one man changed the face of the whole nation, because then, until then, everyone was under the stranglehold of landlords. And the moment he came up with this one idea, he released people. Even ordinary people had the courage to own their own homes. One intellectual idea changed the face of the country. Go a step further to the spirit, Atman, and then you understand, you achieve the impossible. Like the elephant Gajendra. Gajendra's got this egoistic notion that I am powerful, but he was a devotee of Lord Vishnu. And every day he would pluck a lotus from the waters, the river, and offer it to the Lord. One day when he went, after he got this egoistic concept, he went to pluck a lotus and a crocodile got his feet. And he was egoistic, so he said, I am Gajendra, I am the lord of the elephants, what can a crocodile do? So he tried to shake it off. Nothing happened. Before he knew it, the crocodile had got him. And then he knew he was dying. In his dying moments, he thought of Vishnu. He said, what a pity. Every day I offered a lotus to the Lord. On the last day of my life, I'm not able to offer that lotus. That thought of the Lord was enough. Vishnu sent his chakra and annihilated the crocodile. So what it means is, see, this sounds like just an absurd story. What it means is, in your life, particularly in moments of trouble, if you surrender to the Lord, if you think of the higher, you invoke the power of Atman, things get done for you.